Hello, thank you for tuning in. For this selection, readings, the tarot cards I'm going to use are Tarot Grand Lux by Ciro Marchetti. At the top here is the website. I think his name is there too. usgamesinc.com. Feel free to freeze frame and check that out if you're interested. In case I didn't leave that up long enough, there's Ciro. Okay, and for the Oracle cards, your Clairvoyant Oracle cards by Belinda Grace, illustrations by Elaine Marzin. Website on the back here is rockpoolpublishing.com.au. Hopefully that's in focus. And I can give you the rest of the information if you're interested. And I use dice. The dice I use are they're Dungeons and Dragons dice. That's from Amazon.com. I use the 20-sided dice for the major arcana, which obviously does omit 21, but still, I use it. And for the minor arcana, I use the 4-sided dice to choose the element, and then the 12-sided dice for like which number, and it goes up to knight. It excludes queen and king, but I roll with it either way, in case you're wondering. All right, with that being said, thank you, and on to your reading. Hello, Libra. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Libra? The first card out was the Lover's card. Let's see where that goes. Doesn't have to be about romance. Could be. Doesn't have to be. Sometimes I also see that come forward in the sense of like unconditional love, just to be fair. Okay. I don't know if this is going to go well or not go well, but there's this card. So whatever this is, I feel like it lacks balance currently. But, okay, I feel like you might be questioning that. I'm getting it lacks balance. Like, I feel like you have to put in too much effort to make it work out, and that's why it lacks balance. It's like, this isn't working out. Something here is lopsided. It's like, if you have 30 pounds on one side, 10 pounds on the other, but you're holding it to help it balance out. You're putting in the work. You're the one putting in 20 pounds worth of work to make this work out. This isn't balancing right. And I feel like they're saying, whatever this is, that's how this is going. You're putting in so much work, it's worth 20 pounds. This is not the way this should balance. This is not correct. And this is something that means a lot to you. You've been fighting for it. Your effort is worth 20 pounds. Your effort is worth 20 pounds. Without you, this is not in balance. And I keep getting like, this isn't right. This should be balancing by itself. This should be moved forward in a way where it self-actualizes. It self-perpetuates. Instead, this is more of a problematic situation. Okay, so it's not bad that you're helping. It's not bad that you're trying. It's not bad that you're putting in the effort, but it's kind of like the way it's going, it's more codependent on you or more something. It's not working right. It's like, it's not working right. We could throw in a lot of different words if you want, but I feel like you understand. But if this reading is hitting, you know what that is. Ace of Cups is here for you. It's time to actually create a situation that actually honors you the way it needs to be honored, the way you need to be honored. There's changes coming in. There's changes coming in. I don't feel like Libra's not really, I don't know, it depends what it is. Sometimes change is great. Sometimes if they're rough, not so much. More than not, I feel like Libra kind of understands like things are going to change and kind of accepts that. I feel like, I wouldn't say you like it, but you accept it maybe better than most, if that makes sense. It's not about liking. It's kind of like, no, it's going to happen. So it's kind of like accepting, like, you know, when you're in your 20s, this is the type of thing you could do. When you're in your 30s, things change a little bit. When you're in your 40s, they change a little bit more. It's kind of like those type of like, yeah, I know it's going to happen type thing. Like, you're aware of it. You're not expecting everything to stay the same for the rest of your life. currently, I do feel like you're moving around the situation, but there's a lot of little changes going on, and I feel like they're kind of highlighting like, no, 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 this isn't what we're talking about. That's not what we're talking about. Little changes are not it. It might be the situation you're dealing with has a lot of little changes that just maybe are more of a constant than anything else. That's not it. You are very good at this, and you do seem to have a very open mind. You try to be very open to what's happening. You try to roll with it. You try to be as helpful as possible, but I'm getting like whatever's going on here, the current energy is going to be, it's going to be kind of moot. It's kind of be, yeah, you've been balancing it out. You've been doing well, but it's coming up to that point where that balancing you've been doing is going to kind of be nullified. It's things are going to change, but like, let's hold on. Let's hold on and see where we're going. If this is hitting, this is either hitting or it's not at this point. What they're saying is actually what they're saying not to do, I feel like you're going to be okay with. Because it's going to hit this point where you're like, this isn't going well. This what I'm doing isn't working anymore. This isn't going well. What am I going to do? It's not all lost, but what do I need to do to turn these other 3 cups back upright? Because it's the 5 of cups. You got 2 upright and 3 spilt. And you're like, how do we get those 3 cups back the way they should be and fill them back up? What they're saying is like, what they're saying do not do, which ironically might be okay with you. Don't fight for it. Libra doesn't like to really be confrontational. They like to work things out. They like to negotiate it through. They don't really like to fight. They're like, Libra, in my opinion, is kind of like, we don't need to fight. We do need to work it out, but we can be peaceful about doing so. If you try to get this to go right side up, it's going to cause quite the commotion. You got the 5 of Wands there. And there is some emotional release. Emotional release? Yeah. You don't have to go to this, you don't have to go this direction. And I feel like you honestly really don't want to. But if you feel like I have to, I don't really have a choice, I feel like you would push yourself there if you felt like you had no choice. They're saying, no, you do. You do. Pull back. Let the situation do what it's going to do. Let it do what it's going to do. Which is ironically a little hard as well, because it's kind of like, but all that work I put into this. It's kind of like, I don't really want to fight, but I don't want to lose all the work I put into this either. If you just let it be, if you just pull back and just let it kind of happen, go towards the energies that are nice to you. Go into that safer space. What is this? Trust. Trust that things are going to work out the way they need to. Big change because of this, definitely. Big change because of that. I don't think that's going to shock you in any sense. But they're saying it's kind of overdue. The situation, 30 pounds on one side, 10 on the other, and you're supplying the other 20 pounds of pressure by working it out, by helping everything, by working overtime, by exhausting yourself, probably exhausting yourself on this situation. That's a lot of work. This is not right. This is not how this is supposed to go. Pull back, let it start sorting itself out. Trust that this is for the best. Go towards the energies that are more nicer to you, that are more favorable towards you. There is this coming in. How does Libra match up with this energy before we go too far with it? Okay, this is coming in. You got the Justice card on the dice, which is your card. That's the Libra card. Half in, half out, kind of like. You also have the Page of Cups upside down. Like if I had a choice, I wouldn't have chose this. I feel like it's one of those things. Like, I wouldn't have chose that, but something else is coming in. Somebody else is taking over this situation. Even if you weren't the leader of it, it's like, for example, if we're going to use a really easy situation, if you worked at some business, like a corporate place, and maybe you were the team lead, for example, but then there's the manager above you. Whatever that manager is going to swap out. There's going to be a new manager going in there. Not really your choice. Not really like your not your flavor. Not your flavor. Let's do that. Not your flavor. But this person is very pushy also. Not your flavor. Not your flavor. Kind of like broccoli flavored ice cream. You're like, I don't know who would like that, but I definitely don't. That's kind of how I feel like that comes across for you. Kind of like, is it bad? I don't know if it's bad, but I don't want it. That type of feeling. That's coming in anyway. I feel like what they're also saying is like that's another reason to let this just sort itself out. This energy, I feel like they're gonna kind of be like I feel like they're gonna be like you shouldn't have this, you shouldn't have that. So you might as well let it sort itself out anyway, because I don't feel you being appreciated for what you have done to keep it going. So if you just kind of let it sort itself out, it's easier for you and it's going to go there anyway. There is a lot of conflict with this situation. I just feel like you don't have to be in the middle of this conflict. There's a whole new era coming in. Whole new era. Whole new era. If we're going to use that analogy of the corporate team, you're a team lead, everybody kind of follows your lead, but you're not the manager. The manager's above you and actually has control over the team. Like the manager does like the reviews, and like if anybody does something wrong, the manager takes care of that. You're just trying to lead things forward, trying to help things forward. That person switches out. You may be surprised after the switch happens. Whoever this person is, they're not a Libra fan. Okay, so they're not. But they're going to try to give you options to go somewhere else. You're going to be shocked about that. So we're going to use the corporate thing again. You don't have to give up being a team lead, but wouldn't you rather be a team lead over there? I feel like they're going to be like, oh, so-and-so kind of thought they'd like you as a team lead. Wouldn't you like working over there, Libra? Wouldn't you like being their team lead? This is a total shock. But I get the King of Wands is more to your favor. This is somebody who will actually listen to you and work with you. Everything is changing. Everything is changing, but with the nature journey here, you'd be surprised how much this works to your favor. The King of Wands actually is, as long as you're on the good side of the King of Wands, I feel like that could be a great ally for you, by the way. Don't get caught up in the gender, but that's somebody who has they don't have any problem telling people what they're thinking. They don't have any problem starting an issue. They could be very argumentative, but when you're on the same side as them and they feel like you're working to their benefit, they will understand that you don't. So they'll go take care of that on their own, and then you can just do the backup work. You could be more of the negotiator, and then when it doesn't go right, they can be more of the hard ass. And I feel like that'll be fine. So it may be something at first, too, that you're like, oh, I don't know if I really fit with that. You'd be surprised. Once they respect you and see your value, they'll be like, all right, Libra, you don't like all that confrontation. I'll handle that. You work out the diplomacy of this other stuff. And then I'll do this part. Because I don't like the diplomacy. That's boring to me. You do the diplomacy. I'll do the hard-hitting things. And I'll do the controversy when it's necessary. You'd be surprised. So I feel like what they're saying, the whole point of this reading, if it's hitting, is kind of like things are changing. You may not like it at first, but in the long run, you're going to be surprised. I feel like a year from now, you're going to look back and be like, you know what? I'm glad that changed. You may be surprised. You'll be like, you know what? I'm glad it did. I am glad it did. Are we done? All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.